What's up, history buffs and mystery lovers? Today, we're diving deep, and I mean literally deep underground, into one of ancient Egypt's wildest and most baffling structures, the Osirion. You think you know Egypt because you've seen pictures of the pyramids. Think again. This place will blow your mind. So, picture this. You're in Abydos, one of the oldest cities of ancient Egypt, right behind the famous temple of Seti I. There's this structure that looks like nothing else in the country. We're talking about the Osirion. When archaeologists first stumbled upon it in the early 1900s, they were totally floored. It wasn't built like other temples. Instead of being on the surface, it was sunk deep into the earth. And get this, it's constantly flooded by the natural groundwater. It's basically an underground water temple. How cool is that? Now, let's talk about the construction. This is where it gets really nuts. The Osirion is built with massive granite megaliths. We're not talking about your average building blocks here. Some of these bad boys weigh up to 100 tons. To put that in perspective, that's like stacking 15 adult elephants on top of each other. And these aren't just rough, chunky rocks. They are precisely cut and fitted together with a level of skill that makes you scratch your head. They're so tight you can't even slip a piece of paper between them. And here's the kicker. The granite was quarried in Aswan, which is over 100 miles away. How in the world did they transport these colossal stones and then lower them into this deep pit with such insane precision? Mainstream Egyptology suggests ramps and ropes. But come on, 100 tons. That's a serious workout, even with thousands of people. It's a puzzle that has experts arguing to this day. The whole layout is super unique to it's centered around a massive rectangular platform, completely surrounded by a channel of water. On this central island, there were once 10 huge granite pillars, each carved from a single piece of stone. It creates this vibe of an island in a primeval ocean. It's supposed to represent the mound of creation that rose from the waters of chaos in ancient Egyptian mythology. So, you're literally walking into their creation story. The water isn't a mistake or a recent problem, it was part of the design. This place was meant to be a waterlogged, symbolic representation of the beginning of the world. So who built it and when? The official story links it to Pharaoh Seti I, around 1280 BC, because his temple is right next door and his name is stamped on some of the blocks. But this is where the controversy really heats up. The style of the Osirion is completely different from Seti's temple. His temple is full of intricate carvings and colorful paintings. The Osirion, it's stark, massive, and almost completely undecorated. It has more in common with the Valley Temple next to the Sphinx, which some researchers think is way older than the pyramids themselves. We're talking pre-dynastic, maybe even thousands of years older. Think about it. The architectural style is just so different. It's purely megalithic, focusing on the sheer size and placement of the stones rather than surface decoration. This has led some people, like the famous author John Anthony West, to argue that Seti didn't build it at all. He just found it, already ancient and buried in the sand, and built his own temple next to it to honor this sacred primordial site. He might have done some renovations and slapped his name on it, kind of like putting your tag on a piece of classic art. It's a wild theory, but when you stand there and feel the age of those stones, it's not so hard to believe. And then there's the flower of life. Have you heard of it? It's this geometric symbol of overlapping circles that has appeared in cultures all over the world. Well, on one of the granite pillars in the Osirion, you can find several of these symbols etched into the stone. They're not carved deeply, they're almost burned or drawn onto the surface with incredible precision. No one knows for sure who put them there or when. Some say they were added much later, maybe by Greek philosophers or mystics who visited the site. But others believe they're an integral part of the original structure, a key to understanding its purpose. The symbol represents the blueprint of the universe, creation itself, and finding it in a temple that symbolizes creation. That's no coincidence. It's like the builders left a cosmic diagram for us to find. So what was this place for? Why build a massive underground, water-filled structure? The name, Osirion, gives us a big clue. It's named after Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and rebirth. According to myth, after Osiris was murdered by his brother Set, his body was dismembered and scattered across Egypt. His wife Isis collected the pieces, and one of the most important myths says his head was buried at Abydos. So, the Osirion is thought to be a symbolic tomb or cenotaph for Osiris. It wasn't for a human pharaoh, it was a memorial for a god. The entire structure is a machine for resurrection, a physical representation of the cycle of death and rebirth. The central island is the mound of creation, the water is the primeval ocean, and the whole setup was designed to channel cosmic energies to help Osiris, and by extension the pharaoh, be reborn in the afterlife. When you think about it that way, the design starts to make more sense. The annual flooding of the Nile would have filled the channels, mirroring the primeval waters. That pharaoh would have undergone rituals here, connecting with the spirit of Osiris to ensure his own eternal life and the stability of the entire kingdom. It wasn't just a building. It was a living, breathing ritual machine, powered by water and belief. It's a place where the line between the physical and the spiritual totally blurs. You're not just looking at old stones. You're standing inside a mythological concept brought to life. But the mysteries just keep piling up. For example, how was the original pit excavated so perfectly? The sides are sheer and deep, and how did they manage the constant influx of groundwater during construction? Did they have ancient water pumps? Some have even thrown around the idea of lost ancient technology, suggesting the Egyptians knew secrets about engineering, acoustics, and maybe even energy that we've completely forgotten. When you're faced with 100-ton blocks fitted together perfectly, you have to wonder if they had a method we just can't comprehend. Was it sheer manpower and ingenuity, or was something else going on? Let's circle back to the age. If it is older than SETI, I have much older. The theory of an older civilization, a pre-dynastic culture with advanced knowledge, is super compelling when you're at a site like the Osirion. This wasn't a primitive beginning. This was the work of masters. Could there have been a golden age of technology and spiritual wisdom in Egypt's distant past that we know nothing about, that did a cataclysmic event, like a great flood, wipe out most of the evidence, leaving just these indestructible megalithic clues behind? The Osirion forces us to question the standard timeline of history. It doesn't fit neatly into the box. It's an anomaly, a glitch in the historical matrix, and that's what makes it so exciting. It's proof that we don't have all the answers, that ancient history is still full of genuine jaw-dropping mysteries. It challenges us to keep an open mind and to realize that our ancestors might have been far more sophisticated than we give them credit for. So, the next time you see a documentary about Egypt, and they only show the pyramids and Tutankhamun's tomb, remember the Osirion, remember the flooded halls, the giant granite pillars, and the flower of life. It's a place that whispers secrets of a time long forgotten, of gods and creation, and of an engineering prowess that still defies explanation. It's not just a ruin, it's a riddle, written in stone and water waiting for us to finally solve it. What do you guys think? Was it a symbolic tomb, a power plant, or a legacy from a lost civilization? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think is going on at this incredible site. Thanks for hanging out and exploring this mystery with me. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the world's greatest enigmas. Catch you on the next one.